I want to go over just a couple things for the lab this week. In the folder, you'll see a zipped folder, and you can click on that and save the folder. And it's really important to kind of know where your downloads are going. So mine are going onto the desktop. So I made a GIS 151 folder, and in that I have a lab folder, a lab7 folder, and I'm going to grab that and just drop it in to my lab7 folder. So there's that, there's that. Now I'm going to right click this, and I'm going to extract all or extract here, whichever works. And one with a zipper, one without. And when I open this, it's kind of doubly, triply zipped, which is kind of crazy. So actually what I'm going to do is cut that and go back to the root folder and paste that in here. And I'm going to get rid of this duplication. I don't know why that, it might be a Moodle thing. Anyway, so I've got that. Okay. Alright, so now I have this. I have the lab7 poly, which is zipped, and we're going to leave that zipped so we can add that to ArcGIS Online. I'm going to also cut that, move it back, and just put that in my lab7 root folder. Okay? And then I'm going to open the lab and do some stuff. So I'm going to pause this while I'm opening the lab. Okay, so I've logged into ArcGIS Online. I went to My Content, and I'm going to create a new map. Maybe not. Aha, there it is. Create a map. I'm just going to put those in there because I don't really know what I would call that. Call it OK. And there's my new map. So one of the things I asked you to do was to open up this lat-long table and duplicate the information that is in the lab. So when you finish, your table should look like this. Remember, you can't copy the parentheses or the degree symbol. Make sure you know which is latitude and longitude, because this will get really confusing in ArcGIS. I'm going to click here, I'm going to save as, and I need to make sure I know where I'm saving this. So I'm going to go back to the desktop, to here, and I'm going to save it as CSV, and I'm going to change this to a CSV file. Save, and then I'm going to say yes, and then I'm going to try to close it, and it's going to ask me to save again, but I've already saved it, so I'm not going to save it. Okay, now if I go in here, I should have my CSV and the original file. Alright, so now I'm going to add a layer from the file. I'm going to browse. Got to go back to my desktop. Oh, here it is. 151 into lab7, into this lab7. Grab that and choose open, and then hit import layer. Now I'm not adding addresses this time. I'm adding latitude and longitude, and I didn't have a city, so I don't have to fill this in, but it needs to see where my latitude is. So I'm going to check here and say latitude, I called latitude. They call it YLAT. Longitude, I'm going to call that longitude, and they did not have a division type, so we're just going to not use that. Okay. So I'm going to add the layer, and those are my files. If you end up with your files in Texas, you probably missed a step there. So that should work really well for you, I hope. I'm going to ask you to add the Imagery Base Map, which I used to call the Aerial Base Map. And then I'm asking you to describe the different landscapes. And so you have to pretty much zoom in on this guy. And this has amazing resolution as you zoom in. So you're going to talk about grids, you're going to talk about color, you're going to talk about urban, relatively, is it in the northwest of the US, where is it in the world? So that's kind of what I'm looking for with that. You're going to save your map on occasion. You're going to look for some other data. Where's the one thing? So question 4 and 5 are a repeat, so don't let that bog you down. And one of the problems now, at some point down here, let me look at, I ask you to go find a location. Search by lat long. So I wrote this as latitude longitude, but ArcGIS wants you to put in longitude and then latitude. And if you don't think that took me way too long to figure out. Okay, so if I do that, oops, I copied the same thing twice. Okay, hold on, Control C, Control V, and fly to that. Okay. Yes, okay. So that's the landscape that you're going to be looking at in that second part when I say search by latitude, longitude. The other one again is a little tricky because it's 87 west. So don't forget, if it's west you have to put a negative, and again they're putting latitude in front of longitude. I do not know why, but we're going to just let go of it, Lynn. Okay, no, proceed without saving. Well, I just killed it. So anyway, you get the idea. We're going to stop the demo there.